What's going on, guys and girls? Just sitting here at the moment, been watching the price action on Bitcoin. Very exciting stuff. Just been sitting here watching it on Bitstamp, see whether or not I can break that 15,000 US dollar mark. If it does break it, who knows? Do we move on to 20,000 or do we come all the way back down, have a bit of a correction? Either way, very exciting stuff. So, whenever I'm sort of browsing charts or taking a break, and sitting here just aimlessly browsing, what I like to do is make sure I dedicate some of that time to researching new things, researching new indicators, reading up on them, playing with them. So I'm one of these people that I learn from actually doing rather than just sort of like watching, reading. So one of the indicators I've been looking at for a bit is the volume profile indicator. So quite an interesting indicator, very useful indicator. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain a little bit about it to you, and then hopefully that's enough to inspire you to sort of go out and research further, and then maybe start incorporating it into your charting. And yeah, I mean, I guess the more, I wouldn't say the more indicators you have, but when you're using the right indicators in a combination, that's where you're really going to start to excel at being able to predict these price movements and catch these trends. All right, so just to keep it quick, to get the actual indicator itself on, we're just going to hit indicators in TradingView. We're going to click volume profile, and then I'm using the visible range. So once you click that, you can come back out here, and what you're going to see is this stuff here. So I'll explain what everything is, and then explain to you how I'm using it, and yeah, let's see if that helps you. So first of all, just down here, this is our volume. So this is just the standard stuff on the chart. As you guys already know, this is volume over time. So it shows us the amount of volume traded in a particular time period. So for example, each one of these candles represents 60 minutes. So if I have my mouse over that candle, we can see here that this is how much volume was actually traded during that 60-minute period. So what the volume profile does is it gives us volume at a particular price point. So this way now we have volume at a particular time, and now we have volume at a particular price point. So what we have down here is some green and red bars. So pretty straightforward stuff. What we can see here is the amount of volume traded at this particular price range. So we can see the red and the green. So red is the amount of contracts sold at this particular price point. Green is the amount of contracts bought at this particular price point. So you can see here quite thin compared to down here. So this is where the color changes. Now where the color changes, what that's showing us is where 70% of the volume for this particular time period that we have highlighted here was traded. So we know that that's where most of the action has happened during this time frame. The blue lines show the same thing. So it just shows us exactly where 70% of the volume was being traded at any given time. Now the red lines, so the very straight red line here, that's what we call the point of control. So that is showing us where the most volume has been traded for that particular time frame we've got highlighted, and then the red line that's moving is the developing point of control. So that just moves with the flow, showing us at any given time where the most volume has been traded. So how is this useful to us? So pretty straightforward, and again, I'm going to keep it basic. I'm by no means an expert on this. My aim here is just to get as many of you thinking and coming on this journey of just researching and figuring this out and learning from those around us who have more information than us. So what you can see here is, you'll notice we'll start at the top. So we can see that the price has come up and it's sort of stayed around this area, didn't quite push on to the $15,000 mark, and then dipped back down. So what you can see here is that more contracts were sold than the amount of contracts bought. So because of that, it's kept the price there too long and it's come all the way back down. It's then found a little bit of support here, which is just around here. So you can see here as well how it sort of comes down and then it comes out a little bit in this price range. So that's showing that there's a little bit of support there, a little bit of sideways movement before it sort of tried to make that attempt up to 15,000 and then came crashing back down. So what that sort of says to me is this area here Then I've got sort of moving around here. We're going to get a little bit of support there. Not as much as we'll get down here, and we'll see why in a second, but we're going to get a bit. So this is why we had the bounce. If anything, we're going to come back down, possibly try again around here before going up another time, or we're going to head all the way down here to this one here. So this is sort of the next, I guess, level of support that we have for this time frame. And you can see here again, a little bit of sideways movement. So the price action, so there was a very similar amount, 2,000 contracts sold roughly, 2,000 contracts bought roughly. That's what kept the price around there. So it's very even before it sort of made its way up. Try not to move this. If we sort of come down here, oh, that's changed now because I've adjusted the time frame. Let me back up. See that helps. There we go. So if we do happen to come down and fall through this section here, we're going to hit where most of the volume has been traded, where 70% of the volume has been traded. The major area of support is around here. So the 11,000 sort of 11.7 is where the major level of support is. Now, sorry, just reading a message. Now, if the price gets down here, this is where I expect it to really hold and then try to make another run to the top. Now, of course, it may not come down here. We'll have to wait and see. But this is a very good indicator. You can see here all the consolidation, little bit of consolidation here, sort of fell down, came back up, sat around here for a bit longer, which is where most of the volume's been traded, and then it's just gone on its run. Come all the way up to around sort of the 12.7 mark, took a cool down for a bit, hung out there, and then headed all the way back up, sort of around the $13,900 mark. Again, played around here for a bit, and now it's gone up for another run. So based on this, I do expect it to sort of come back down a bit, hover around here before making up its mind whether it goes for another run to 15,000 or maybe we're going to cool off for today and come back down to a lower level of support. So that's the basics on it. As I said, it's not meant to be a super in-depth video on how to use it. It's more just to introduce you to it, let you know what sort of things we can get out of using it, and then if you do find it useful, definitely research more on it and try to incorporate it into your charting. Alright guys, back to watching this chart. I'll talk to you all later.